You see, that's me, Domino. And this right here is my boy Deuce. And that right there is my sister Cherry.
Hey, that's me.
Shut up, Cherry.
Hey Deuce, come on, that's my sister.
It's my freaking girlfriend.
Some of these guys, they like an old-fashioned wrestling match. But me and Deuce, we like a good old-fashioned rumble.
They come at us, we crack them in the mouth.
Exactly. Crack them in the mouth.
Crack them in the freaking mouth. Hey, what do you know about Summer Lovin', huh?
I know all about Summer Lovin', Deuce. Deuce and Domino, the 7 Tag Team Champions, and we're coming to get you.
Deuce and Domino have left the freaking building.
Bye.
From the other side of the tracks, WWE in the mid-2000s briefly revived the spirit of 50s greaser culture with the tag team Deuce and Domino. Decked out in leather jackets and accompanied by Cherry on roller skates, they cruised to the ring in a classic car and embodied an over-the-top retro persona that felt more at home on Happy Days than the ruthless aggression era. Despite their campy gimmick, they found success, capturing the WWE Tag Team Championship and defending it against some of the best teams of their time. But like so many character-heavy acts, they quickly faded into obscurity as WWE moved on to more reality-based storylines. Today, Deuce and Domino stand as a reminder of how wrestling has always embraced larger-than-life personas, even if those personas don't always last. They were a throwback act in a modern era, a pair of leather-jacketed greasers who cruised into WWE with a classic car and a championship run before fading into obscurity. Their story is a testament to the risks and occasional rewards of embracing an unforgettable gimmick, no matter how out of place it seems. This is the rise and fall of Deuce and Domino, a tag team that proves sometimes the flashiest entrances lead to the shortest journeys. Deuce and Domino made their main roster debut on SmackDown in early 2007, arriving in a vintage car with their manager Cherry. Their slicked-back hair, leather jackets, and retro swagger immediately set them apart from the rest of the roster. They burst onto the SmackDown scene like a blast from a jukebox, rumbling to the ring in a classic Chevy and announcing themselves as a new force in the tag team division. Deuce, whose real name is James Ryer Snuka, is the son of WWE Hall of Famer Jimmy Superfly Snuka. He initially performed under the ring name Jimmy Snuka Jr. on the independent circuit. After signing with WWE's developmental system, he adopted the name Deuce Shade while honing his craft in Ohio Valley Wrestling, a territory that served as a proving ground for future stars. Domino, well known as Cliff Compton, also paid his dues in OVW, wrestling under the names Deuce Domino and then simply Domino. Domino was a 50s greaser gimmick inspired by the legendary comedian Andrew Dice Clay. Domino started training in the early 2000s and quickly became known for his willingness to embrace character work. The two first teamed up in OVW, along with their manager Cherry Pie, who played Domino's sister and Deuce's girlfriend, to set the whole package. This began developing the seeds of the gimmick that would define them and their careers. WWE has a long tradition of repackaging nostalgia into wrestling personas, from 1980s rockers to country singers. Deuce and Domino were no different. Their act drew inspiration from 1950s greaser subculture, think Grease and Happy Days, but turned up to cartoonish levels. They wore leather jackets and jeans with cuffs, slicked back their hair with pomade, and strutted to the ring accompanied by Cherry, who completed the gimmick in a poodle skirt and roller skates. Originally called the Throwbacks, the group embraced the 1950s nostalgia from the start, later adopting the name The Untouchables, before finally debuting on SmackDown as Deuce and Domino. Deuce and Domino made their SmackDown debut on January 19, 2007. With a catchy song and memorable entrance, the group quickly established themselves as a credible threat to the tag team division. Despite the campy aesthetic, WWE booked them strong from the start. At the time, the tag division was weak, but the SmackDown titles were held by Paul London and Brian Kendrick for almost a year. On April 20th, 2007, Deuce and Domino defeated London and Kendrick to win the WWE Tag Team Championships. London and Kendrick were record-setting champions, which gave Deuce and Domino's victory extra significance. During their reign, they successfully defended the titles against teams including London and Kendrick, the Major Brothers, later known as Kurt Hawkins and Zack Ryder, and even reunited veterans like Shannon Moore and Jimmy Wang Yang. Deuce and Domino eventually dropped the titles in August 2007 to Matt Hardy and MVP. After losing rematches and sliding down the card, their act began to unravel. Cherry, who had been a defining part of the presentation, was removed as their manager in early 2008. In June 2008, Deuce and Domino split on screen when Deuce attacked Domino after another loss. The breakup wasn't followed by any meaningful singles push for either man, signaling the end of the team as a serious presence. Deuce moved to the Raw roster and adopted the new ring name Sim Snuka, finally acknowledging his heritage as Jimmy Snuka's son. However, the rebrand was short-lived. Sim's most notable moment came at WrestleMania 25, where he played one of the disguised cameramen during the memorable Undertaker vs. Shawn Michaels match. However, he famously failed to catch The Undertaker during a suicide dive spot in the match, a moment that drew a lot of criticism. He was released later that year. Domino returned briefly to developmental, but was soon let go. He later found a niche on the independent circuit, notably as Cliff Compton in Ring of Honor, where he had a modestly successful run. Looking back, Deuce and Domino are often remembered less for their in-ring work, and more for the curiosity of their presentation. At a time when WWE was transitioning away from over-the-top characters toward more reality-based personas, Randy Orton's Legend Killer, Batista's animalistic powerhouse, and John Cena's ultimate hero, Deuce and Domino, felt like a relic of another era. Yet, they did leave a small mark. They held championship gold, had a distinctive entrance that fans still recall, and briefly revived the tradition of the flamboyant tag team gimmick. Today, they stand as a reminder of WWE's willingness to try anything once, even if it means reimagining 1950s street toughs in the middle of the 2000s. Though their time was short, Deuce and Domino are proof that in wrestling, sometimes the most unlikely ideas make it all the way to the top, if only for a little while, and they're all about cool.